Okay, everybody keeps saying, Angie, you need to go live. We want to see you live. They say that over there at Wise Sports Betting, which is my other channel. And I also have a channel called Wise Sports Betting Shorts, which is a complement to the main sports betting channel. But my main channel is here, Angie Wise Food. All right, this is the channel I upload my beats to sometimes, my music. When I do stand-up comedy, which I haven't in a while, I will upload it here. I was originally going to talk about hip-hop news and do comedy skits and tell stories. And so it's my birthday. Today is July 21st, Monday. Yay! Go ahead. It's my birthday. And I don't expect the algorithm to pick this up. I don't expect many people to see this. This ain't about the algorithm. This ain't about views. I just, it's what time is it here? It's 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock in the morning out here on the West Coast. It's my birthday. It's awful bright in my kitchen. This is my kitchen, y'all. Let me stand up real quick. Let you see, this is one half of my kitchen. This is where the bar and the seating and the TV is. And on the other side, of course, is the regular kitchen. But, yeah, everyone keeps saying go live, and when I try to go live, I joined a panel actually on somebody else's channel, and it was echoing, it was acting crazy. So I said, let's go late in the morning, early in the morning when ain't nobody on. Let's try to go live on the main channel, which is Angie Wise Food. Some people think Wise Sports Betting is my main channel, but no, Angie Wise Food is my baby. This is my heart. So it's my birthday, and I always reminisce on my birthday. And warning, if you don't hear nothing that's kind of deep, leave now. Oh, I got one person in here. Hey, thank you for being here. I don't know how to see you, and it doesn't matter. I don't have to see you. Just thank you for watching. But I'm going to tell about what happened to me when I was a little girl growing up on the streets of Indiana. When I was about 5 years old, this is the first time it happened. And this happened many times, but I was about 5 years old. I was walking home from kindergarten, and I only lived like maybe 4 or 5 blocks from my school. And my parents used to say, walk straight up this street and come home. You know how they do. And I chose to go the other way. So I went the other way, which was on like a 2-block over delay. And I'm walking, and I'm literally carrying my books. And I know everybody now has backpacks and stuff, but back then in the 70s, we didn't really have backpacks much, okay? We just carried our books. So I had a handful of books, and I'm walking up the street, and this guy, white guy, in a brown, I want to say it was a Catalina, a brown car, and I'm almost for sure it was a Catalina. He pulled up real slow next to me. Well, first I looked back and I saw the car coming. Something said, and I always thought that something was God, all right? But something said, look back. So I walk in, I look back. I'm only 5, I'm by myself, and I see this car. So he pulls up, and he's right next to me. And I look, I'm walking with my handful of books, right? I'm only 5 years old. And I look, and he has his pants pulled down, and he's got his thing in his hand, playing with it. I look, I screamed, I dropped my books, and I ran with all my might. I ran up the next alley, ran over this alley, ran over that street, ran over this alley. I zigzagged until I got home. And that was the first time. And I just want to say that happened to me probably about 50 times in my childhood, from the ages of 5 to 15, growing up in the streets of Indianapolis, Indiana. If you were a girl walking down the street, not just a black girl, this happened in a predominantly black neighborhood, but it also happened to me walking in white neighborhoods that were predominantly white, and I had white girlfriends growing up that it happened to them too. If you were a little girl and you were walking down the street, it wasn't unusual for a guy to pull up in his car with his member in his hand, and you had to run. I had to jump fences. I had to string through alleys, y'all. I was like a football player, right? I was like a football player, okay? I had to run. I had to jump fences so many times. And there was times where I got home, especially when I was like 5, 6, 7, I would look out the window and I would see the car go by and I would be so afraid. I would be so terrified. And so on my birthday, I always remember things like that. I don't know. Something about birthdays make you look back at all your life's traumas, you know? But that was probably one of the most traumatic, well, I ain't gonna say that was the most traumatic, but in the street, in terms of walking down the street, that was one of the most traumatic things that I had to deal with. And sometimes I wonder how it affected me, because now I'm older, and in my 20s and early 30s, now I would walk down the street any time of day or night. It could be 1 a.m. and I feel like jogging. So I would just get up and I would jog 3 or 4 miles. And I used to live in this cool apartment that was on the top of the hill. And at the bottom of the hill was a juvenile detention center. Now, this was in Portland. And I would run up and down that hill. And I had so many spiritual experiences. There was times when I was running up the hill and a wind would come out of nowhere, pushing me back. And I would run and run through the wind. And I would praise God. I would talk to God. It would be 1, 2, 3 in the morning. I've never been a stranger to walk in the street at 1, 2, 3 in the morning, jogging, or I just want to go for a walk. But now that I'm a little older, I don't do it anymore. From the ages of 5 till now, I've walked down the street and I've had car after car stop. Even in my 30s, when I was a city bus driver at TriMet in Portland, Oregon, I remember one time I had this big, huge Bible. I used to be a real big Bible thumper back in the day. Not so much anymore. I'm more spiritual, not religious, I should say. Now I know it's not about religion. It's about relationship. So I'm not religious anymore. I'm spiritual. But back then I used to be really religious. And I had on my whole bus uniform, y'all, all right? I'm walking on the street in my bus uniform, reading this overly big Bible. And this black man, this brother, in this old ass raggedy hoopty, pulls up and said, "Yo, sis, you want to ride?" And I said, "No, I don't want to ride." And I'm walking, mind my business. He went around the block like they always do. And he circled back and he slowed up next to me again. He said, "Yo, sis, you want to ride?" I said, "No." You know, by this time I'm getting a little scared. So I yell and try to make a scene. So I said, "No, I don't want to ride. Go away." I didn't even faze him, okay? He rolled around again. He circled around the block and he came up real nice and slow. And he had a gun. And the third time he had a gun and he said, "Get in the car." And so I just ended up running, and it is almost traumatizing. I shouldn't think, Angie, why are you doing this on your birthday? Why are you reliving these memories? But it made me feel 5 years old all over again. I'm like, what am I, 5 years old? I'm running down the street again. Here I am in my 30s. I'm in a bus driver's uniform. You know, I'm reading a Bible, and I'm in a whole other city. And it just has always been like that. So if you're a lady or you're a child, because there are some children on my channel and you're watching this, just know you're not alone. All right. You're not the only one that walks down the street and has to break out running randomly. The last time it happened to me was about, I want to say a year ago. Now, mind you, today is my birthday. I'm 55 years old today. Why would you want to mess with a 54-year-old lady? I don't know. And I have a cane. Sometimes I walk with a cane. So I'm walking down the street and I got my cane and I'm standing on the corner getting ready to cross the street to go into the store. And this gray Charger pulls up and it's got 3 black guys in it, right? The gray Charger pulls up and they slow down real slow and then they stop in front of me and I'm at the red light waiting to cross the street. Right across the street is a convenience store. I'm standing at the light. They stop. They look at me. They said, and then one of them in the back opened the back door. Another guy said, grab her, man, grab her. And so I was just shocked, so I stepped back and I said, oh my God. And I stepped back and I tried to run with my cane. And the guy said, man, that's an old lady. And they bust out laughing and they drove off. And that's the last incident that I had. And I don't walk down the street no more, period, for nothing. Every blue moon for exercise, I'll walk around my immediate block or two, but I don't walk the streets just to be walking for exercise anymore because of that last incident. And I was like, and these incidents have been happening since I've been 5 years old. So just wanted to share with you. It's my birthday. I wanted to have a little talk with you about stuff that I go through and went through on the street. And this is my first live. It's been 10 minutes and 46 seconds. It's now 4:11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast. I had one person pop in. They ain't even say nothing. And then they left. But I wanted to see what going live was like. I wanted to see if my camera would work without the echo this time. Is it only echoing when I'm on other people's channel trying to talk, or is it mine? So far, no echo. And if you watch this live on the replay, thank you for watching. And the Angie Wise Food Channel. This is Word from Wise. This was just a birthday street talk. And let's see, is there anything else I want to say? It's been 11 minutes. That's basically what's on my mind on my birthday, was some of the traumas that I went through, having to run down the street because guys keep pulling up in cars. I woke up at 1 a.m. from a nightmare, actually. It was a nightmare that I had. I had a nightmare at 1 a.m, which was just a few hours ago. It's 4:00 in the morning here on the West Coast. And I had a nightmare, and it was basically replaying what happened. So just wanted to share with y'all. It's my birthday, and I hope to do more lives. Thank you for watching my first live at Angie Wise Food, and I'm out, y'all.